Hi, everybody. It's Natasha Koch here with the Van City Home Team live on Thursday. How's everybody doing? I'm in my car and I just was looking to see if I had my makeup so I could freshen it up for the live, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen today, so you get me as is. Anyway, I'm sorry that we missed our live on Tuesday. We had a guest speaker and unfortunately it didn't pan out, so I had to cancel it. But I am definitely here every other live, and so today we're going to talk about sellers. 10 answers that you should never give to a very, very common question, which is, why are you selling? So let's go through. I mean, obviously it seems like a very innocent question. Why are you selling? But watch out, this question actually gets a lot of people in trouble, which kind of solidifies why realtors are there in the first place, because we're kind of the go-between to help sellers not make those kind of mistakes. So what's wrong with a buyer asking you, and what are some of the things that you can prevent saying? I mean, people want to know, home buyers want to know why you're selling, mainly because they want to find out if there's anything they should be looking out for when they go to buy your home. Hi, Stevie. Thanks for joining. It's so slow. Everybody's out enjoying the weather, I guess. So, okay, so I've got 10 things that you should never say as a seller. This will help you to maximize your profit on selling your home. And no one here is telling anybody that they shouldn't be honest, but sometimes your honesty might be a red flag for a potential buyer. So number one, I got transferred for my job. Actually, this is a big reason why a lot of people sell in the first place. People do get transferred. As a matter of fact, I think the survey or the statistics were about 17% from moving companies indicated that a lot of sellers are leaving because they got transferred with their jobs. You don't want to tell a potential buyer this because they will think that you're desperate to sell and that you need to move quickly, and maybe you'd be willing to take less. And really, most of the answers to this is just that. It's, you don't want to express urgency, but I'll go through all 10 of them and then you can see why. So first one, I got transferred for my job. Number two, our family needs a bigger house. So you're trading up, and you know, it's a pretty legitimate reason. You know, your family is getting bigger. You've got a couple extra kids. And so don't tell people that. I mean, don't tell people that your house is too small, because those people may be thinking about starting a family of their own, and they do not need to think that maybe your house is also going to be too small for them. Number three, let's just make sure I'm on track here. Number three, okay, so now the children have left the nest and we're ready to downsize. So that totally makes sense. People downsize, their house becomes too large for them. They're you know, the kids aren't home anymore. They've got empty rooms. They're having to maintain and clean and look after a home that is far too large. Great reason to sell. Not so great that you want to imply to a buyer that they're going to have to maintain this large house and that it's going to be too much work for them. So people can perceive things in very, very different ways. Let's just see as I'm reading my notes if anybody else has joined. Hi, Sid. Hi, Jeanette. Hi, Crystal. Hi, Farhana. Hopefully I said your name correctly. Thanks for joining. And Rosemary. All right, so now number four, we need a smaller mortgage payment. Okay, probably not the best thing to say. There's a couple reasons why this response is a really bad idea. First, you don't want to give the impression that the house is too expensive or overpriced, and you don't want them either to presume that your finances are in poor shape, because if they think that you're having difficulty making your mortgage payments, they will think that maybe you'll take a lesser offer. So needing a smaller mortgage payment, no, don't say it. Number five, we've already bought our next house. A lot of people do buy their next house before selling their first one, and I always tell my clients it's not the greatest idea. I totally get it why people want to do it that way. But the truth is that you never have a strong people that you want to fetch top dollar for your house. Don't divulge that you already purchased a new home. Makes the buyer think that you're in a desperate circumstance. Number 7. Am I on number 7? I think that I am. Oh, we want a quieter neighborhood. So saying that, well, I'm pretty sure that everybody out there can guess that if you say that you want a quieter neighborhood, then maybe you're indicating that your neighborhood currently is noisy. So maybe somebody moving in there is also looking for a quiet neighborhood, and you've just let them know that yours isn't. And everybody's idea of what quiet is different. I know that when I go to Mexico, I have a house in Mexico, and when I go to Mexico, the neighbors are not very quiet. And that's just part of their culture and the way that it is there. And I love it. But somebody else might go there and stay at my house, and they might think it's pretty noisy. So anyway, don't divulge too much information. Next one is that they need to move closer to the parents to help care for them. So you kind of would think that this is a pretty innocent comment. Move close to the parents. You need to care for them. But why would you want to share that information? Because it also expresses urgency and that you need to move pronto, because if the parents need care, their health is probably deteriorating rapidly, which puts a little urgency on you having to move. Next one, my back problems make it too difficult for me to climb the stairs. Not good either. You don't want to, I'm getting all these messages, I'm sorry. I should have turned the messenger off. So your back problems are bothering you. You know, that's a legitimate reason, but again, you don't want to point out the fact that there's this big long flights, you know, of stairs and scaring off a potential buyer thinking, oh, well, maybe there are too many stairs. So pointing out anything negative in the house is not a good idea, because it will likely become amplified to the buyer. Next, our utility bills are through the roof. I think that one's kind of self-explanatory. Why would you want to tell somebody that it's really expensive to live there? You don't want to lie. And obviously, I don't know if anybody knows this, but you can actually call utility companies and get an average on what the utility bills are for a certain house. They won't give you the exact numbers, but they'll give you an average of what they're paying. So you can definitely do your due diligence. You don't have to offer the information that the utilities are too high. And lastly, the house is too difficult for us to maintain. No one wants to buy a money pit, so even if you're selling a clear fixer-upper, don't mention maintenance costs. You know, I mean, people are going to think that they've already got to fix up the house if it's a fixer-upper, and they don't want to have to think that, you know, they've got to deal with a 20-year-old water heater and, you know, all other reasons why they will think twice about making an offer. So, hey, Eric. Hey, Jean. Hey, Danka. I was looking at my notes, so I didn't realize how many of you were here. So thanks for joining. So those are some of the reasons why it's a really good idea to have a realtor. There's a lot of people that sell privately, and I understand why. But the truth is that, you know, we as realtors are there to protect your interest and to make sure that we put you in the best position possible by way of maybe avoiding talking about things that might put you at a disadvantage. So hopefully you found this informative, and anybody thinking of selling their home, just remember that, you know, chances are you're probably not going to run into the buyer in the house, but in case you do and they're viewing your house, be cautious about some of the reasons why you're selling and divulging that to the buyer. So we'll see you guys all next week. Have an amazing, happy Mother's Day weekend. Of course, it's weekend for all the mothers, not just one day. And we'll see you next week on Tuesday for the Van City Scoop. See you soon. Bye, guys.